down at us with a wide, owlish gaze. This was hardly the time for accusations, even if they were the result of terror rather than anger. Besides, if someone had told the mages where we were, they'd have come straight to us. They were doing what they did best, inciting fear to keep people in line in the hope that sooner or later someone would inform on us. I thrust Belle's bedroll into her hands, and she jerked back. I pretended not to notice that she was almost as afraid of me as she was of the mages. Then I headed for the ladder without bothering to check that the rest of the group were following. They knew what was expected of them. As I hauled myself up, my eyelids prickled painfully from the bright sunlight that filtered through the kitchen window. Time had lost all meaning while we were underground, but from the strength of the sunshine, it had to be somewhere around midday. "Where will you go?" Macallan asked. I shook my head. It was better if he didn't know. I reached for his hands and squeezed them. "Thank you," I said softly. The words, still unfamiliar when spoken aloud, scratched my throat, but John Macallan didn't seem to notice. Instead, his cheeks turned pink, and he bowed, actually bowed. I stared at him. "Anything for you, ma'am. Anything. You're going to save us all." I wasn't sure what disturbed me most, the impending approach of the mages, Macallan's unshakable belief in me, or the fact that he called me ma'am. I gave a tight smile, then tilted my head to listen to the muffled shouts and running feet outside. The others emerged from the cellar. "Fuck me," the gout growled, rubbing his eyes. "That's bright." I opened the back door. We hadn't hidden in this house because of the comfort of the dank cellar, or because John Macallan had been brave enough to let us in. We were here because it offered several avenues for escape. Plan for the worst and hope for the best. Alas, now the worst was upon us. I squinted up at the clear blue sky. Nothing more than a lazy pigeon flapped past. Exhaling, I glanced back. Everyone was ready. There were 10 of us in total. The Gauk, Fee, Flora and Jane were from the local resistance. Trish, Lottie and Ailsa had worked at the city chambers. Belle and Twister had been my employers in the tartan shop. Jack, Ewan and Jen, who had previously helped me escape and been arrested by the mages for their efforts, had departed days ago to find friends and family with whom they could hide. They knew that the mages weren't interested in them. Our magical overlords wanted the rest of us to torture, hang and make a bloody example of. But we couldn't stay together because such a large group would be noticed within seconds. 6 hours, I said. My voice still sounded disembodied and strange to my ears. When the sun sets, we'll meet at the next location. I paused, then added, "Good luck." I pointed to the Gauk. "You and Fee go first." Belle's lip curled. "Just because he's disabled and she's old doesn't mean they should get to go first." When I looked at her, she blinked as if she hadn't realised she'd spoken aloud. Her head dropped, and Twister gave me an apologetic shrug. It wasn't important. The Gauk turned his wizened face to mine. "Don't take any unnecessary risks, lass. If we get caught, it'll be pure shite, but it won't make any difference to the fight. If you get caught, it'll be a different story. You're the face of the resistance now. We need you." He snorted, a phlegmy sound that wasn't particularly healthy. "The whole city needs you." "The whole country," Fee corrected. Her voice was quiet, but her gaze remained intent. "You're the figurehead we can all get behind." A figurehead was a token, nothing more than a symbol, but I couldn't disagree. Much as I hated it, I knew what they meant. The mages' campaign against me, which had gained considerable traction after I'd killed the Ascendant, was creating a groundswell of feeling among the ordinary folk of Glasgow. The city's passive acceptance of a shitty situation was beginning to change, and we could all feel it happening. If my face helped with that, I couldn't argue about it. The Gauk squeezed my shoulder with his clawed, misshapen hand, then grabbed Fee. Without another word, they walked out of John Macallan's back door to the snicket at the right of the house. I held my breath and waited for several beats until they were out of sight. There were no cries of alarm, not yet. I gestured to Flora and Jane, who slipped out silently and took the side street to the left. Ailsa, Trish and Lottie followed them